Dear everyone, wherever you are, whenever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day. Today, we're going to talk about the first episode in problems facing civil society organization. I have received this request from some volunteers when we were discussing issues about the lack of funding for certain issues or certain problems or certain conflict zones. First of all, let me congratulate the Muslims for the beginning of Rajab tomorrow. So Rajab, then Sha'ban, then Ramadan, inshallah. Let us start. Why are the donation decreasing? Why are the organizations, especially humanitarian or social, are not receiving much donation as it was before? Let me silent. Okay, why? I divided my response into three parts: internal reasons or causes, national or on the national level or governmental. The third one is regional or global. And at the end, I will discuss a case study about one of the armed conflicts happening in one of the provinces in the Middle East, and people are complaining why the lack or the decrease amount of donation in this area. So let us talk about the internal reasons inside the organization. First of all, the lack of clarity of the structure of the organization and the interference between different departments. If you don't have a clear structure and each department is taking the responsibility of doing the job of another department, you have a confused donors and they cannot actually give you money anymore. You will discover that. The second point is the lack or the absence or the incomplete job description given to all the employees, which does not fulfill the job and does not address the responsibility and the authority. This is number two. Number three, centralization of decision making. There is no delegation. There is no delegation to other individuals or different departments. Or in the same department, it's only the head of the department is in charge. Number four, the way we choose employees. Do we advertise? Do we make proper interview? Do we actually choose the best? Or we headhunt and we choose whom we like and whom we know? Number five, the spread of grouping based on cultural sappy. People become from same, belong to same culture, same ideology, same school of thought, same theology, same religion or religious background, and so on. Number six, changing the social organization or the civil society organization into family business. What do I mean? Maybe the father is the founder, but then he or bring his wife or his children or his relatives or whatever it is. It becomes like a family organization now, not as it was when it started. And this will be addressed and known by the public. What we call here institutional aging. The organization having this disease of institutional aging or senile, means that it becomes so old in its performance And in structure, it has a structural slackness, a structure let me sagginess or flabbiness. يعني very old structure which is not suitable to the current time being, or it is becoming institutional, affected by institutional aging like an old man. Because why is this? Because we don't change the blood inside the organization. We keep the same people for the last 30 or 40 or 50 years. This is number 8. Number 9, well, if I say this organizational maturity and stability, people say, oh, yes, good. It's good, but not good enough. Because this kind of organizational stability, maturity, might invite individuals who would like to come and relax inside the organization. Because money is coming, resources are coming without any effort. So such individuals will change the organization into a swamp, become stagnant. Then themselves will become this kind of idiotic, stupid, non-professional, traditional individuals who cannot take the organization forward. This is number 9. Number 10, relying on one source of income. And this is what exactly happened in the case of Syria. In the case of Syria, up till now, I've been discussing this issue with the Syrian organization in Turkey and other places. Please do not depend only on one source of income. They were relying on UNOCHA from one side and on some of the Gulf organizations from the Gulf countries on the other side. Which, when the problem is happening nowadays here and there, the fund is nearly stopping and they are struggling. Okay? Number 11, there is no investment parallel to the organization. There is no waqf. We have not started, organization have not started any waqf scheme. In my own view, if you are going to organize or to establish or to register any organization from day one, you have, listen to me, you have to start waqf at the same time. Even you must declare that you will take from all the donations 1 or 2 or 3% from the very beginning to build the waqf over the coming 20 or 30 years. This is number 11. Number 12, lack of policies, procedures, laws, principles, parameters, and no clarity for this. Okay. Number 13, okay, lack of the presence of young leadership, male and female. Male and female, we need both of them. Not only in the young leadership, but inside the organization itself. We need senior individuals, male and female. Then we need junior individuals, male and female. Okay? Number 14 is becoming very traditional. Nothing new. The same project, the same list being done every year. And I can list for you 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 projects. People are doing it every year. From the back of my mind. Ramadan, Qurbani, Christmas giving, and Thanksgiving, and all these kinds of comes. Winter clothing, winter shelter, all these kind of things. Water, okay, orphan sponsorship, woman, and all this kind. There's no innovation. There's no renewal. There's no reforming. Some of the organizations are scared of building partnership with others. And in my own view, I'm just telling all of us, for God's sake, none of us can do it alone. Even if you have multiple of 3 or 4 billion, not only dollar, billion Kuwaiti dinar every year, which could be actually up to $10 billion. You cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. You have to establish the principles of partnership. When your donors find that you are actually trying to be the best, the first, and whatever it is, they will take a back step and stop donating to you. Okay? There's no role for volunteers, for young volunteers to come to help, to come to be trained, to come to you to become the future leadership of the organization. This also will not let the family of your own society to connect with you. They will actually take a back step as well. They do not believe in volunteerism. Okay, no, we don't want any headache, no headache. Okay. In the budget, there is no budget for training, capacity building, rehabilitation, research, studies. There's nothing. The credibility of the organization, the rumors about the organization. If the organization does not open its doors, it will be like a black spot for everybody. A lot of rumors will be spreading, especially negative rumors about the organization. The lack of understanding of how to use technology to advance the development of the organization. Oh, it's very expensive. No, we don't want it. Go to this church, go to this mosque, go to whatever. No. Go to Hajj Fulan, Hajj Fulan. No. That's it. We don't need it. Which is how to modernize the organization and bring the new technology to the organization. Closeness. Big like a cocoon, putting barriers between them and the community. If nobody knows what's in the organization, of course, people will never come to you. This kind of closeness, closure, making like a ghettoing, become ghetto organization. Okay? Lack of understanding of the experience or the knowledge of how others have achieved their potential and their goals. A lot of successful achievement everywhere in the whole world. In Latin America, in Europe, in North Africa, in East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, in Asia, but they don't care. We don't want any headache. Okay, we don't want those people to come to us. The lack of clarity of vision. Every day we make the work of the day of the tomorrow is tomorrow. Or when the president or the chairman or the CEO have an idea, dreamt about it in a dream, then he next day come out, let us do it without any planning. Lack of vision. Why are you having the organization? What's the vision of the organization? Lack of clear and specific objectives. Clear and specific objectives. What is the message of the organization? You have to tell the message of the organization to the society that you are serving. And you have to leave all this documentation to what? To generation to come. The publication. They don't sometimes care of producing publication, was it online, e-publication, or printed, or video and audio. The last and not least, which is working from home, which becomes a trend nowadays. For me, I am anti working from home. You cannot come and tell a social, humanitarian, or development organization everybody work from home. Dead meat. People have used or abused what happened during COVID, and now nobody. I go to organizations, I've got huge buildings, hundreds of people in the city, and they work one day in the office. Let me tell you, humanitarian organization is exactly needed as much as we need the ambulances, the what do you call it? The ambulances, what do you call it? Police forces, security forces, fire brigade personnel, army soldiers and army cadet everywhere. When we look at this, even farmers, can we plant the farms or the land by sitting at home, by getting our remote? Yes, seed jump to the land, water come from the sky. Can we do this? So these kind of professions, which is fire brigade, ambulance service, casualty in the hospital, emergency department, security, policing, military, they cannot work from home. They cannot, and you are like them. We can have one excuse for one day, or somebody who has special need, he or she can work from home. But the minimum amount of work that we should attend or do from the office will be at least 3 days a week. Optimum 4 days a week. The best is 7 days a week, because we are dealing with public, we are dealing with human being, we are dealing with future generation, we are building community, or building organization, or building society, or building future leadership. You cannot do this from working at home. That's why these 24 points are the internal problems facing the organization, which letting the public not to trust it anymore and not to give this money, donation. Okay? This is the first group of internal problem facing the organization, and letting the donors to decrease their donation to them. The second will be the society around you, your country, your community, the state around you. First of all, a lot of states nowadays are scared of empowering anymore civil society organization, because they think that it becomes a threat to them. Even we can feel this in the West. The freedom that we used to enjoy 40 years ago is not here or not there anymore. This number one, which is actually the societal problem, the state problems, which this will lead to people not believing in the sector anymore. Civil liberty space, shrinking the civil liberty space, or removing the civil liberty space. If you have an autocratic dictatorship, military or security government, definitely without blinking, without thinking, they will shrink the space, because the dictator as an individual or as a state, and the military as an individual or state, or the security and the military are hands-on, superior in their mentality, because they give order and they cannot run dialogue, discussion. So please be careful of getting your country to be run by security mentality, or military mentality, or dictatorship mentality, autocratic mentality. This will kill the civil liberty space. And when you kill the civil liberty space, that means you have no innovation, no renovation, no reforming, no pioneering. And here, people will be scared to give you. All right, number 4 here in the second group is such governments make it so difficult or impossible for organization to function. Tightening the rule. I give you an example. In certain Arab countries, if you want to do a fundraising for water, you have to apply for the license 1 month. But everything, where is the function and for this is for every function. Would you imagine? For every function you have to take a permission. And this unfortunately is not run by military or by security. But this kind of mentality will suffocate and let the donor to be scared. Whereas I don't want, I just give cash in hand and I don't want to give donation to those people. I just look after my family, or if I know somebody outside the country, I send the money to them. Okay? Regulation becomes impossible. Strangling the organization, the amount of paperwork organization need to do make people to be fed up of having this. That's why it is becoming difficult to deal with the public anymore. So the public lose confidence. Number 5, the state itself does not believe in voluntarism, on voluntary movement. So they make public scared of it. Number 6, the lack of public awareness of what? Of the role, the crucial role played by civil society organization, stroke humanitarian, stroke development, stroke research, all these kind of things. They don't know. Number 7, the economical problem facing the countries. Most of the countries now they have got big economical problems, and this could be either because of corruption in the government, because of the global economic problem. That's why people will start to think to save their money for themselves. Number 8 is there's no political stability in the country. Up and down, chaos, confrontation, conflict, and others. The rise of the percentage of unemployment and the ignorance at the same time. Number 10, the immigration, because certain states, I'm not saying certain states have this kind of expelling power of their great or their highly qualified human resources. They expel them, they force them to leave. And you'll be left with people who don't know what, and that's why the public start to decrease donation to you because of the government itself. Okay. The lack of social services, especially education, because the government spends most of its budget on military and security, 70 up to 80% in certain countries, which is suicidal. Number 12 is the conflict. Could be conflict, cultural, could be theological, could be armed conflicts. Last and not least, which is number 13, the creation of these armed groups scared people as well. If I go about how governments create armed groups, there's many examples in Democratic Republic of Congo, but how handle an armed group, because there's no There's no state, there's no government. Even some of the government changed the outlaws or these ringleaders into armed groups and legalize their possession. And here people are starting to be scared even to stay in the same country. And this is happening in quite a few countries in the Middle East. So this is actually on the national level. On the regional or international level, the rising number of natural disasters because of climate change and pollution. The rising number of armed conflicts in the neighborhood. The increased number of economical problems which affecting the region, affecting the globe, and affecting your country. War and terror, which have been facing this for the last 20 of 25 years or more, and up till now we don't even know the definition of terrorism and has not been identified or unified or been defined by the United Nations. Number 5 is the weakness of the regional organization as well as UN organization. And what we can see nowadays that United Nations as a body becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. United Nations, League of Arab States, OIC, Organization of Islamic Conference, and other regional Africa Union and others, because it is member, it's a state, it is the members are states or governments. The member states are not paying the money, the membership money, the membership fees. Making embargo or sanction around certain countries, as the sanction was made against Iraq in the last century by one country and their alliance. The sanctions made against Afghanistan by one country and their alliance. The sanctions made against Sudan by one country and their alliance up to now. And when you ask United Nations, are you a part of this sanction? They said, no, we have nothing to do with it. Number 7, to be very honest, I will say theft of the local resources of the weak and developing countries by the greater or the developed or the advanced or the powerful countries. And this is happening everywhere, whether through the armed groups or through such countries occupying certain part of this land of this country and extracting the wealth directly to themselves. And you can see the example of this plenty, different parts of the world. Number 8, the rising number of displacement, refugees, and which cannot be dealt with your local organization, because the problems become beyond the capacity and the capability of such organization. So these are the 8, 21, 45 reasons of why the public are losing confidence and don't give you the money anymore. If we look at these 45 points I mentioned, 24 of them are internal. That means that 50% of the problems of the lack of funding to you is because of you as leaders of the organization. It's because of you. I mentioned 45 points, 24 of them are internal. 13 are related to the society and the government, and 8 to the regional policy and the international politics. Let me get a case study. We have been discussing the issue of Gaza with some organization from different parts. And the same question came again. Why people are not interested anymore to give to Gaza, despite the fact that the conflict is still going? Here we identified about 17 points. This apart from the 45 points which I mentioned before. Point number one, actually, the increasing number of displacement and casualties, whether they are injured people or dead people. This makes people tired. The closure of the gates to Gaza, which stop the aid of reaching to the people who need it. Changing the humanitarian situation into political situation. That's number three. Number four, it is the dimension and the depth of the problem became beyond the individual, the ordinary individual who understand the problem, the complexity of the issue, or the complexity of the humanitarian suffering. So when you see these images on the Facebook and on social media, people cannot sleep. The weak role played by regional and UN agencies. They cannot do much. That's why people said, if they cannot do much, why should pay the money? Number six is the continuous use of veto in the Security Council. Should people to fed up. Number seven, the spread of rumors about the credibility of the organization themselves. You have got this kind of people sitting at home just trying to make rumor about everybody. Especially humanitarian organizations. Number nine, it is the total destruction of the infrastructure of the province. Number nine, it is the siege around the province from air, sea, and road for the last 16 years, which make it impossible to get aid material to go there. Number 11, corruption and politicization of media. Media itself, particularly state media, whether in the West or in the East or in the North or in the South, is the corrupt media, is politicizing the issue of humanitarian issue in Gaza. Number 12, the abundance of information which let the individual like myself and everybody else cannot comprehend it, cannot read it. Number 13, that what we call it donor fatigue, especially individual. They become very tired of donating every day, and there's no end for it. Number 14, the rise of other problems in different parts of the world. So they shift from here to here, whether they are organization or they are institution or they are governmental or non-governmental or individuals. Number 15, the role of banking, which we call it de-risking, which make it very difficult sometimes to let the money reaching the needy in this area. It's happening in Sudan, it's happening in Yemen, it's happening for Syria, it's happening for different parts of the world. Even for Libya, it's happening. Number 16, closing the bank account. It's found that the bank closing your account without any reason. They give you time limit, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. You close with an organization or a company or a factory or individual. Okay. Number 17, which have got 4 points. Sometimes this kind of classifying organization would put you on the terrorist list without your knowledge. People are scared to deal with this issue, the issue of the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Sometimes people get threat if they become vocal, or the local government or registering your organization can actually deregister you and close you down. And also the banks can close your bank account and freeze your assets. This is what's affecting a case study of Gaza. So today we discussed 45 causes for decreasing the funding for the organization. 24 of them internal, it's because of us inside the organization. 13 are actually inside the country because of the regulation inside the country or the civil liberty space, and 8 regional reasons and global reasons. And we'll give the case study of Gaza. Thank you very much for being very patient and listening to this. I was trying to reduce the time, but I could not be able to help it. But anyway, all the best, and I'll see you inshallah next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.